What if the one man trying to save everyone is actually the reason everything is about to collapse? Because in from Season 4 Episode 8, everything we thought Boyd was controlling starts slipping out of his hands. And after Episode 7, one thing is clear, the town is no longer reacting to them, it's now responding to them. Every decision, every experiment, every attempt to fight back. It's all building towards something bigger. And in Episode 8, Boyd's plan doesn't just fail. It backfires in a way that puts every single survivor in direct danger. Nobody is safe anymore. Not Boyd. Not Donna. Not Tabitha. Not even Jade. And by the end of this breakdown, you'll see why Episode 8 might be the point where From stops being about survival, and becomes about control. Something else is now in charge. Before we break down Episode 8, we need to understand what Episode 7 changed. Because Episode 7 didn't just move the story forward, it rewired the entire mystery of the town. We saw Tabitha and Jade digging deeper into the fractured truth of their connection to the place. Their visions are no longer random. They are linked, synchronized, almost like they are being guided towards something specific. And that raises one terrifying question: are they remembering, or are they being rewritten? Meanwhile, Boyd's situation has become more dangerous than ever. His confidence in controlling the town has started to crack. Because the monsters aren't behaving like they used to. They're adapting. Watching. Waiting. Almost like Boyd's latest strategy has been noticed. And that brings us directly into Episode 8. Because the promo makes one thing very clear, Boyd is about to make a move that changes everything. Let's break down what we see in the Episode 8 promo. The first thing that stands out is Boyd. He looks more determined, but also more desperate. That combination is always dangerous in From. We hear dialogue suggesting that Boyd is pushing forward with a new plan, something more aggressive than before. Something involving bait. A trap. Or possibly a controlled confrontation with the creatures. And this is where things start to go wrong. Because in every season of From, whenever humans try to force control over the town's rules, the town responds. Not immediately. Not obviously, but strategically. And the promo hints that whatever Boyd is attempting, triggers something irreversible. We see flashes of panic. People running. Doors being barricaded. And a sense that the safe boundaries of the town, whatever little safety they had, are breaking down. So what exactly could Boyd be planning? Based on the Episode 7 setup, Boyd now believes something critical: the monsters are not random. They are predictable. And if they are predictable, they can be controlled. This is where Boyd's dangerous logic begins. Because he may attempt to lure the creatures into a confined space. Use himself or a known survivor as bait. Or recreate the conditions from past attacks to study patterns. At first glance, it sounds smart. Even necessary. But in From, intelligence always has consequences. Because the town doesn't just react to plans. It learns from them. And if Boyd is trying to trap something that has been hunting them for decades, then the question becomes the following: who is really being trapped? The promo's biggest implication is simple: Boyd's plan fails, but not in a normal way. It doesn't just break. It escalates. We see chaos spreading through multiple locations at once. Which suggests one terrifying possibility: Boyd may have unintentionally opened a new access point for the creatures. Disrupted whatever rules were keeping things stable. Or triggered a coordinated response from the town itself. And this is important: the creatures in From have always felt intelligent, but Episode 8 might reveal they are part of a system. Not just monsters. But something organized. Something responding to Boyd's actions like a defense mechanism. And that's where the title of this episode breakdown becomes reality: nobody is safe. Because once the system is activated, there are no safe zones left. While Boyd's storyline collapses outward, Tabitha's and Jade's storylines collapse inward. Their visions intensify in episode 8. But something changes. They stop being observers. And start becoming participants. Almost like the town is now pulling them deeper into its memory structure. There's a strong theory here, that Tabitha and Jade are not just remembering the town's origin, they may actually be unlocking the reason it exists. And if that's true, then Boyd's failure and their discovery might be connected. One action in the physical world, triggering something in the spiritual or memory layer of the town. Which means episode 8 is not just escalation. It's synchronization. Everything is converging. So what's the most likely outcome of episode 8? Here are the strongest predictions. First, Boyd's plan will fail, but it will fail in a way that permanently changes how the creatures interact with the town. Second, we may see the collapse of safe structure zones like Colony House or the town center. Third, Tabitha and Jade will get closer to a revelation that connects them directly to the origin of the town's loop. And finally, episode 8 will likely mark a shift from survival horror to revelation horror. Because once you understand the rules of the town changes the rules again. So the real question heading into episode 8 is this: did Boyd finally go too far? Or was the town waiting for him to do exactly this, all along? Because if this breakdown is even close to correct, then episode 8 isn't just another episode. It's the point where everything starts to break. And nobody is going to be safe again. If episode 7 showed us anything, it's this: the town is no longer passive. It doesn't just trap people. It responds to intention. And Boyd's biggest mistake in episode may 8 not be his plan itself, but the fact that he believed the town was something he could outsmart. Because intelligence doesn't equal safety. It equals attention. And now Boyd has the town's attention. Let's go deeper into something the episode 8 promo strongly hints at. What if the monsters are not the top of the hierarchy? What if they are just enforcers? Because the way the show is evolving suggests a structure like this. Level 1, humans, Boyd, Tabitha, Jade, survivors. Level 2, creatures, hunters, manipulators, enforcers. Level 3, the unseen force controlling rules of the town. Now here's where Boyd's plan becomes dangerous. If he tries to trap or study the creatures, he may accidentally send a signal upward. Like disturbing a system that was never meant to be studied. And episode May 8 show the first sign of that reaction. Not chaos. But correction. The town is correcting itself. Another important detail from episode 8's direction is Boyd himself. He is no longer operating from leadership. He is operating from pressure. And that changes everything. Because Boyd has always been the anchor of logic. But now he's starting to behave like someone who has accepted a dangerous idea: if we don't control this place, it will control us forever. That belief is what drives his plan. But it's also what makes it flawed. Because from the moment you try to impose control, you become part of the experiment. And episode 8 looks like the moment Boyd realizes, he was never leading the survivors. He was being observed alongside them. Now let's return to Tabitha and Jade. Because episode 8 doesn't treat their storyline as separate. It treats it as parallel escalation. Their visions are intensifying in a structured way. Not random flashes. But progressive unlocking. And there's a disturbing theory here: what if their memories are not from the past, but from different versions of the town loop? Meaning, they may have existed here before. Not as individuals. But as roles, and every time the cycle resets, they return in new forms. This would explain why their visions feel familiar. Why symbols repeat. Why certain locations trigger identical reactions. And most importantly, why the town is pushing them toward discovery now. Because Boyd's actions in episode May 8 have weakened the veil between cycles. Let's talk about the actual backfire implied in the title. Because it's not just failure. It's escalation through exposure. Here's what likely happens: Boyd's plan creates a controlled scenario. But instead of trapping the creatures, It reveals something new about them. Something like, they don't act individually anymore. They coordinate when rules are broken. They adapt based on human experimentation.